Hey guys, welcome back to the Forge to Fight website, where we have not visited this page in like a year, but we're here and they dropped Cliffjumper's intel report, so we're going to take a quick look at it. At first glance, he looks great. He doesn't look like a complete, copy paste of Scout B. He does have some differences here and there. The head is completely different, so that's a big plus in my book. But yeah, there are, again, similarities, so we are going to take him as a new bot with a grain of salt as kind of a reskin. So yeah, let's take a quick look at his intel report. So we can add him to the squad on April 29th. So this Thursday, which I'm assuming tomorrow, we're going to get some news. I don't know if it's going to be the anniversary update, if they're going to release info on that tomorrow. Otherwise, we may get another spotlight, another time slide, and then in May, we'll get the official anniversary update. I don't know yet, but I'm assuming we'll get more news tomorrow, but they don't say how you'll be able to obtain him. I'm going to assume either through the Titan store or through crystals. Definitely not for free through, like, for example, like the raid chips, the raid bot chips. I don't think he'll be available like that, so just something to keep in mind. To my surprise, he's a demo class character. We haven't had a demo class Autobot in a very long time, so I think Kabam felt like we needed a new Autobot in there, so there we go. We're getting a Cliffjumper in there. I thought for sure maybe he was going to be like a warrior class character, but they went with demo. Cliffjumper may be small in stature, but he's a Titan when it comes to bravery. Maybe that's a hint. Titan store. Just kidding. No Titan's too dangerous, no job too tough, and no foe too fearsome. His impulsive nature may get him in a few binds, but it's nothing his glass gas gun can't get him, can't help him break through, as it makes even the strongest metals shatter. This is going to tongue twist the heck out of me, so I might just call it like the GG gun or like the glass gun. Let me know what you guys think is easier. Glass gas gun. Too many G's, man. Let's see. Okay, so here are the stats. We're going to skip over that. Basic abilities, the GG gun debuffs, and the anti-nullify, and the passives. Okay, so he's a bit of an interesting character. I took a look at it while I was at work, and, I was thinking about it. It's like, well, one of these passives I'm not really a fan of. So this first one, whenever a buff is nullified on Cliffjumper, he gains 5 to 25% range damage for 6 seconds. So it sounds good, but any buff, anything that benefits a bot from taking damage, I'm not a fan of, because you have to get hit basically in order to get nullified. Basically, if, for example, Starscream hits you with some ranged hits, he'll nullify some of your buffs. And then that'll cause you to get this buff. Likewise with Cyclonus, his Dark Pulse, if he nullifies one of your buffs. And there's a couple other bots that, can nullify, but those are the ones that came right away to my head. So I'm not a fan that you have to get hit for, a certain passive to activate, this case, range damage. While under the effects of a non-damaging debuff, increase Cliffjumper's special attack damage by 20%. This one I can get behind, but it does have to be a non-damaging debuff. So for example, an armor break, a heal block, crit rate down. I think him going up against Grinder is going to be really beneficial for Cliffjumper, since Grinder's crit rate down almost always applies. So you'll get that increase in his special attack damage by 20%. So it's pretty good, but again, it's very situational. So I'm on the fence from these two passives. Definitely not in favor of the first one. Second one's okay. Ranged attacks. So Cliffjumper's ranged attacks have an 80 to 100% chance to apply a glass gas debuff for 8 seconds. So 8 seconds, it's kind of a long time. So it gives you plenty of room to work with, so I think that's pretty good. So what do these debuffs do? Each glass gas debuff reduces the enemy's block proficiency by -5%. So whenever the enemy is holding down block and you're shooting, range attacks into them or hitting them with melee attacks, basically this is going to decrease their proficiency, which further increases your damage when they're holding down block. You're punching into their block. So that one's pretty good. But the main one, the best one that could make him really, really good is this last one. Each GG debuff increases Cliffjumper's critical damage by 5%. So each one of these glass gas debuffs crit damage by 5%. So yeah, we'll read further down here because you can actually permanently apply them, which is amazing. So heavy attacks have a 100% chance to refresh all of the GG debuffs, and special 1 cracks start to form. His gas cannon whittles away at his opponent's defenses, so he refreshes all of the debuffs and he permanently applies one of them. Special 2, to the brittle end. Cliffjumper shows off his weapon expertise with double blasters. If the opponent has at least 3 glass gas debuffs, increase damage by 10%. So this one's pretty good. And if he has at least 10 of the debuffs, the final hit is unblockable. And then finally, permanent fractures. Cliffjumper's glass gas gun. God, kabam. Could not have made it any worse of like a tongue twist. Can leave a permanent mark on his opponent. So he adds 5 of these debuffs and then all of them become permanent. And then the final hit has a 70% critical chance. I hope that it adds the 5 debuffs first, and then at the very end they all become permanent. That way, you can get a bunch of them going, use a heavy, refresh all of them, then launch a special 3, and hopefully in those 8 seconds that's enough to finish like the animation of the special 3, and then you can add a whole bunch just permanently. And basically at 10 stacks of these permanent debuffs, that's a 100% critical damage boost, and at 20 that's 100%. At 10% it's a 50% critical damage boost, and at 20 stacks it's 100% critical damage boost. I don't see any indication that it's capped, so hopefully it's like an infinite amount of these debuffs that you can permanently apply. That would be amazing. You'd be doing a whole ton of damage. Signature, it's very interesting and I like it. So if Cliffjumper, first of fight, if he lands the first hit of combat, he'll gain a 15 to 30% critical chance. I'm going to assume this is for like the remainder of the fight, for the entire fight. And and on the opposite side, if the opponent lands the first hit of combat, he'll gain a permanent 5 to 15% ranged speed. If either of these buffs are nullified, they'll reactivate after 10 seconds. Honestly, I think the best one you really, really want is going to be this one. You want to land that first hit, get that 15% critical chance. You really don't want to get hit, right away. Especially like in higher, difficulties, higher challenges in alliance missions, difficulty 100, you don't want to get hit right away. So getting this permanent ranged speed, I don't think that's as good as this crit chance. That being said, like already to apply these debuffs, there's an 80 to 100% chance. So it's already pretty high to apply these debuffs. I'm assuming at rank 5, you'll be 100% of the time applying all of them. So yeah, I don't think this one's too good. Definitely, hit first. Hit first, ask questions later. Okay, so synergies, mutual with Jazz, increase power gain by 3 to 5%. This one can be pretty good because ideally you're going to want to go for and launch a ton of these, a ton of special 3s, and then that way they become permanent. So getting there quicker with Jazz's power gain synergy, I think that'll be really good. Mutual with Mirage, armor, not really that good. Outgoing, Kickback, and Motormaster gain increased attack by 2 to 8%. This is for Kickback and Motormaster. The only incoming one where Cliffjumper will benefit will be the one from Bludgeon. Increase attack by 2 to 8%. And then the outgoing Demo Leadership, all teammates, lower tier teammates gain 10% special damage. And then here are some little tips from Kabam. Tacticians, they tend to have a lot of nullifying abilities, and Cliffjumper gains range damage if his buffs are taken away. But again, you don't want to get hit, man, so I don't see this being a good match. It's like counterintuitive, you don't want to get hit to be able to get buffs, to be able to get like a range damage increase buff. It's not worth it in my opinion, unless you're going up against like super like low attack bots, then I don't know, if you want to take a hit, go for it. But me personally, nope, no thank you. Cliffjumper also gains a special attack boost while under the effects of debuffs like armor break. Yes, also, again, I said crit rate down, heal block. Those are some. Power rate down, power lock as well would be good matchups. But again, most of those you have to get hit in order for them to apply on you. So the only one that comes to my head right away that would be a good matchup is going to be Grinder for those crit rate debuffs that he applies. And weak matchups. So of course against techs, that's a given. He relies on his special attacks to deal big damage. Many techs apply power lock or power drain, making it more difficult for Cliffjumper to use his specials. So if you're going up against a Cliffjumper, you'll definitely want to use a tech class character. Power lock him, that way he doesn't get to his special 3. Some tech bots also interfere with ranged attacks, making it harder for Cliffjumper to stack his glass gas debuffs, which would be Blaster. Yeah, Blaster would be the one to decrease his range speed. But that is honestly it for Cliffjumper. It's kind of short, but it is a new ability for sure, so that's a good sign. It's a completely new ability that's getting introduced to the game, so I will gladly take it. And I tried doing some like mental scenarios in my head where I was like, well, I was just reading like the special one whittles away at his opponent's defenses. It's talking about his gun, so I was thinking, is he gonna have like Mirage's special one? I don't know, maybe. I was just going through my head thinking, what bots like shoot with their specials? Shockwave as well to the brittle end with double blasters. Who in the game uses double blasters? Ironhide, his special too. Maybe, I'm just thinking what specials can be recycled, copied animation wise. Hopefully none of them. Again, I really, really hope none of them are going to be recycled and it's completely brand new animation. So that's my one wish for this game, that it, starts getting some life back into it. But this is a good start. I can't wait to see how he'll be obtainable, if he's going to be obtainable for crystals. I think for sure, guys, we're going to use all of our Energon to try to get this guy. And because he is a demo class character, if we do manage to pull like a 5-star or get him as a 5-star, I'll take him all the way up to rank 6. We'll do it. We will rank him up all the way and see how good he is. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We should get some news tomorrow, and on Thursday we'll be able to get him. So let me know your thoughts, guys, on what you think of Cliffjumper, if you guys are excited. And yeah, we'll see what we get tomorrow, guys. So thank you for watching. Have a good one. Stay safe, and I'll catch you all in the next video.